Welcome to 3D LANES number 74. Today we are talking about a subject, technically a subject that I didn't have in mind to speak about today. And honestly, I was not fully ready for today. Mainly because, there's a bunch of episodes that I have in my head written down, and the the research is pretty much done, but I haven't had the time to study it completely and sit down and be able to talk about it in a way that I would think it's it paints a good picture. I mean, I guess I could just wing it and try to go with it, but I just don't want to. I don't think it's a good analysis. And today I will be talking about an idea, kind of like what I did last weekend or last week, and it's about film photography and how that the difference between film photography on the consumer spectrum and the manufacturing spectrum. I do not have all the data for this, but I think it's a good subject to discuss because, okay, everything is digital now. And I think everything being digital and people being on their screens all the time makes analog um, items or analog tools more appealing to people. For example, manual transmission cars. I know there's not a comeback yet, but classic cars, or there's a. I don't think that the car show industry, cars and coffee stuff never went away, but I think people are still a little reluctant on calling an electric car an enthusiast car. I don't think that has happened yet, and it's mainly because of the an analog experience that a gas car can give you compared to an electric car. Also, if we look at watches, right? Watches are absolutely unnecessary. You have the time on your phone. If you have an Apple Watch, you can do way more things than with a regular automatic or hand wound or um, quartz watch, right? But people still like them and people appreciate them because it's the analog experience. It's not so much, well, in some cases, it can be the value proposition of them. People see them as assets sometimes. But I think a lot has to do with the experience, the how tactical, and I'm not talking about tactical like in the military uh, expression. Well, it's not tactical, right? It's tactile. Sorry, it's more tactile experience than something digital. Instead of being stuck on a screen, you you feel more for the item that you have on your hand. You interact more with it. It makes you think more. In case of film photography, right? Film cameras make you slow down, make you think more. But yes, the demand has returned. I think there's no question about demand in film photography nowadays. It is still a niche type of photography because not everybody's using it. You're rarely gonna see a full wedding being shot on film, and I know there is cases of it, but it's not the norm as it was before, right? Like I was talking to Marcus from Formex at Windup, and he was telling me how his wife used to shoot weddings in film photography, and it has to be really now more than before, right? Because the capabilities of digital cameras, but before it was normal. Now it's a little more nerve wracking because you don't have the capabilities of checking what you just shot on the film. There's no way, right? And nowadays we have strong demand for 35 millimeter uh, color film like Portra, Golf 200, some of the Fujifilm 400, premium compact cameras like what is the half the 17 from who made it? The half frame was a Pentax that made the half frame camera. There's also a lot of point and shoots being sold, all of the old school. I'm not really well versed in point and shoots, but you see a bunch of point and shoots film cameras being sold nowadays. There's the weak side of film, like the slide film, or um, I don't know about black and white. I think black and white is okay. I think that might be one of the what people shoot the most because it's easier to develop. It's more forgiving. Large format, it's not there. I don't know if it's gonna make a full comeback, but yeah, it's just mass market. It's not there yet, right? It's still niche. And then if we move to the manufacturing side of things, I think the enthusiast has a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to manufacturing, and it might be. I think it might be all the three businesses, right? Cars, photography, and watches. There's a huge misunderstanding of what a company needs to make a product, make it viable in the market, and for the company actually to survive, right? They might be able to sell something for a very low price, but then when you don't make profit, at the end of the day, you have to look at it as a business. They have to pay people, and a lot of consumers they don't understand this. And in this situation with film, there's a lot of specialized things that needs to happen, like coding machines, chemistry, uh, now more than ever, environmental compliance, the manufacturing of all the film, the industrial equipment that it was used back then, that it is needed now. It's not as available as before. We have the raw material supply. I don't know what exactly that entails, but I'm assuming it's not readily available as before. And the machines that used to make this film now they have to be extremely old, and to replace them you probably have to make a huge investment to restart making those machines again. And it's I don't think the bottleneck for film photography is the enthusiasm of the consumer, but it's more so the capability of manufacturing it. And the industry lost a lot of the scale to make this film happen again. Because film used to support, if we think about it, film used to support the casual consumers, uh, tourists. Freaking net was on me. Tourists, weddings, journalism, commercial studios, schools, all of the above. Now everything is done digitally, right? Like weddings, if you're looking for a specific type of aesthetic, then yeah, you might hire somebody that does shoot film, but at the same time, they're probably gonna shoot digital just in case, because you don't want to show up empty-handed at the end of the day and then be like, "Hey, all the film that we shot is bad, so we don't have anything to give you back." That would completely suck. But who uses film nowadays? Nowadays it's used more for enthusiasts, more artists you could catalog, and the production levels needed now they're way lower. There's a higher cost because of this. There's less power for the consumer, right? You cannot negotiate as much as before. There's the distribution for these films. It's more narrow. You have less stores distributing and selling film, and it's not the same as the early '90s, right? Now it's way less, and we can see this through pricing. If the film industry was really healthy in the mass market, right? Those are the two key words that you need to remember. Prices will be stable, the availability would be normal, and the labs would scale comfortably. So we would have more labs in the cities instead of just having onesie twosies or having to mail it to, I don't know, like if you mail it to the darkroom in San Clemente, California, you have to mail it over there, or if Bay Photo here in, I think they're in Monterey, or there's a few more in the East Coast, or there's some in East LA, right? It's not like there's two or three labs here in my city for me to just take it there. There's one. And in this case, if I take it to that lab, I pay more taking it to that lab than mailing it to the darkroom, which is sad because you want to support the local lab, but at the same time, it's at some point it becomes cost prohibitive for you to be shooting film and take it to the local lab. So you have to choose sometimes. Instead of the situation that I described before, prices for the film keep rising. They keep going up. The shortages of stock happen, and a lot of labs have disappeared. Used camera prices have gone up year after year if you analyze that. So a lot of the photography companies, they survive, yes, but not film dependent. So for example, Fuji survived because they switched and now they're huge in uh, portable, uh, what is it called, mirrorless cameras, right? They survive because of medical imaging, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, digital imaging, all that stuff, right? Not because of film. On the other hand, you have Eastman Kodak, and they struggle because they remain more dependent on legacy imaging business like film. And this can become another topic, right? Like diversification for survival. But that's another story for another day. I mean, now what Kodak has on their hands is being able to serve this niche market, which is film photography. But at the same time, for the enthusiasts, they're the only ones supplying, for the most part, or in the bulk, or in bigger quantities than everybody else. So that becomes an issue, at least for the consumer. But one idea is that film might be transitioning into a luxury item. So instead of being something for the mass market, it becomes something like vinyl, mechanical watches, fountain pens. Those are not obsolete by any means, but they're also not mainstream. Like, yeah, more people are adopting them, but it's not something that everybody has a vinyl player at home. No, that's not true. Not everybody has a fountain pen either, or not everybody appreciates mechanical watches either. So they're not obsolete, they're not mainstream, and they're not efficient. But they're in for the enthusiasts, they're actually meaningful. They mean a lot, right? And if you appreciate those things, then you're deep into it. So this translates to higher prices being acceptable, scarcity becomes normalized, and emotional value matters more than the convenience that these items had before. So I don't think film is struggling for customers, but it's struggling for manufacturing. That is the bottom line of today. I might come back with a more informed report on this, meaning giving you more data and quantities to actually see if this is actually true or if I'm just completely lost when it comes to this analysis. But I didn't want to leave today without an episode. Work has been crazy the past 2 3 weeks, and I was lucky that last week I did not have a class going, but this week I started class again. I have to submit a bunch of things for, it's actually two classes, but I have to submit a bunch of work for those two classes. I'm on the final semester, so we'll see how this one goes. Hopefully it's not as bad. I feel like everything is winding down now. Everything is a little easier. but at the same time, my brain is fried. We'll see if this podcast continues after the NBA. I mean, this is just to keep everything fresh. If that's the case, then it might make sense to keep it going, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much. I am Denny. I appreciate your time. I will see you next time.